Welcome to our kitchen, the kitchen of het Nonnetje in Harderwijk. My name is Michel. I'm the chef of this restaurant for almost 18 years now. And we are going to prepare a free-range chicken from our own region. And we are going to prepare it en croute, which means baked in dough. So this is a free-range chicken, and this chicken, it gets really the time to grow slowly, and it can walk outside, inside, lots of space, organic food, of course, all those things. You will taste it back in the flavor of this beautiful chicken. So first, take the chicken and cut off the legs. Be sure to leave enough of the skin on the breasts. Next step, take off the wings. And then I'm going to make first a rouleau of the breast. So I will take off the breasts with the skin. The wing part has been cut off on the side. I'm going to make a farce of this part, and I'm going to make a rouleau of the two breasts. I will put them on the side. This is for the farce, and now I will do the other two chickens. Here we have the liver. Keep it on the side. The heart. Because from the meat of the legs we're going to make a pâté. So we're going to make the farce. For that we will need 200 grams of the fillets. I'm going to pass it through a sieve later. So then we have 50 grams of butter. Salt. Nutmeg, free-range egg, and this we are going to mix. So this mixture, we're going to pass it through a sieve to take out the nerves. We pass it through a sieve like this. As you can see, the nerves are on this side, and on the other side I have the farce, which I can use to make the rouleau. Take out the end. Next step is put the farce on one of the two chicken breasts. Then afterwards we can put them together. The farce will make the two breasts stick together. How are we going to put them together? So we have a thick side and a thin side. So the thick side from the one goes to the thin side of the other, like this. And then we can fold them together, like this. Like this, our rouleau will be as thick on every part. Now we are going to wrap it in plastic foil, cling film, and afterwards, to keep it in a good shape, also in aluminium foil. So put it on the side. Two layers of cling film. Pick it up and roll it in with skin on the outside. Pick it up, roll it in like a sausage. Second part, to really keep the rouleau in a good shape afterwards, aluminium foil. So again, wrap it up real tight. Now we're gonna put them in the oven, which is a combination of dry air and steam. We're gonna put the thermometer in the chicken, in the center. And we are going to put it on temperature of 55, which is almost cooked, but not completely. This is because after this preparation, it still has to go in the oven in the dough. Okay, let's debone the legs. And leave the skin on, because a pâté also needs a little bit of fat. The bones we're going to keep to make the jus. So cut them already in some big parts. So the next step, to make the pâté, we're going to grain the meat. Liver, piece of meat, liver. So we have the grained meat. And we're gonna spice it with some salt, pepper, a confit of shallots, a confit of garlic. If you make a confit out of those two, the flavor will be more smooth, not the hard garlic flavors. Then we need some spices. These are several kinds of spices. First roasted in a pan and then made it into a powder. Cognac. And you need something to bind everything together. For this we use fresh breadcrumbs. This we're going to mix. It's the mixture of a classic French terrine de campagne or a pâté. Mix it very well. Now we make a test for the flavor. Lovely. The mixture, we are going to put it in a piping bag. Here I have a sausage bag. Because the pâté I want to make it in the shape of a sausage. To let out the little bit of air, make just one little tiny hole. To keep it in the right shape, also in aluminium, we are going to wrap it in aluminium foil. Rouleau is done. We're gonna cook the pâté as well in the oven. So until that time, put it on the side. 40 minutes. Now, the rouleau of the chicken has cooled down, cooked and cooled down. Now we can take off the foil. Now we can cut the rouleau into cylinders. Look how beautiful. Moist on the inside with the farce in between. Nice and juicy and full of flavor. We are now in our bakery nearby. It's our neighbor and he lets me use this perfect machine to roll out the dough so we get it as thick on every corner. And the dough of the chicken en croute is made out of 300 grams of flour, 200 grams of butter, and then 15 grams of salt and 70 grams of water. Everything mixed together not too long, because too long you get gluten and it's going to be elastic. Just mix everything together, but don't work it too long. And now we can use the machine to roll out the dough. Start on this side, flour. Then we have the thing where you can make the thickness of the dough. And let's start the first time. Little by little, we go to a thickness of 2 millimeters. The dough, and we will need 3 sizes of the dough. We need a bottom, and we need something to cover it. So we start with making some bottoms of the dough. The rest of the dough we can use again, also for decoration. We also need some small circles for the decoration, which I will show you later. And the last thing we also need is even one smaller. Later, when I make the decoration on the croute, you will understand why. Because on top of the chicken, free-range chicken en croute, we are going to decorate it with a daisy flower. We have made a duxelle out of shiitake mushrooms, which are chopped shiitakes, shallots, some garlic, baked it everything together, and then a little bit of fresh breadcrumbs until it's nice and smooth, rich and full of flavor. So we're going to put some of the duxelle on top of the chicken. And with a small knife we can put it nice and beautiful, the duxelle of the shiitake mushrooms, on the free-range chicken. We're gonna put it on the sides. Back to our pastry. We can start making our pastry. The chicken in the dough. Chicken is ready. We have the dough in several sizes. So let me show. First is the bottom, the underneath part of dough, where we place the chicken. Then we have the bigger one. We're going to cover it with dough and take out all the air on the sides like this. Push it a little bit and put it on the side. Next. Exactly in the middle. And cover it with the dough. Next step in the preparation is that we want to take away the dough which is there too much. So we have this part of equipment, and right in the middle we can take out the chicken en croute and take away the dough which we don't need. So next thing after this is we are going to work on the decoration. We are going to give the chicken en croute the first layer of egg yolk. So we pick it up. And carefully moisten it with the egg yolk on all sides. Not too much, just a thin layer, which will make it nice and shiny after the baking process. Next step is that I will decorate the chicken en croute with a daisy flower. Why a daisy flower? Well, it's inspired on the love for my wife, because the wedding bouquet of my wife when we got married 25 years ago was made out of daisies. We couldn't afford roses, but since that time the daisy is our flower of our love. So how I'm going to make the daisy, I will show you. So we have this piece of dough, and first we have the very small pieces of dough. I'm going to place a small one in the middle. Which is the heart of the daisy flower. And now I'm going to make the flowers of the daisy like this. Leaves of dough on the chicken en croute, like this. You see? And now we have a daisy. So I think that love, in my case the love I have for my wife and the country where she comes from, is always the best inspiration one can get. As a tribute to our love, and share this emotion, this feeling with our guests. Makes it quite personal. These are things you just can't rush. You have to be patient and do it with lots of love and attention. Okay. Of course, we explain all the dishes to our guests, and we tell how a dish is created, what was the inspiration before the people are being served. It's kind of storytelling before they start to eat. So, beautiful daisies. So, I think having patience is very important in the kitchen. Some things you just can't rush. I learned it over time. When you're young, you want to do things fast, but it doesn't work like that. Okay, so 6 beautiful daisies. And now in the end, we are going to give it a second layer of the egg yolks. Again, not too much. Not too much, because then you can still see the beautiful daisy. If you use too much, a lot of the egg yolk will stick between the leaves of the daisy flower. We just want to show it, the daisy, as beautiful as possible. So now we are going to put the chicken en croute in the fridge, and then when we are going to send the dish, it's going into an oven directly from the fridge into the oven, 185 degrees, 12 minutes, and then send it as quickly as possible. Then after testing, we saw that like this, the chicken is still nice and tender and moist on the inside, yet the dough is completely cooked and crispy. This we put in the fridge. the croute is ready. The free-range chicken, organic chicken from our own region, we prepared it en croute, which means baked in the croute dough. And besides the chicken, there's also a duxelle of shiitake mushrooms in the croute. I've been working with this free-range chicken for many years now, but this is the first time that I prepared it en croute. And as you can see, I decorated the croute with a daisy flower, and the daisy flower refers to the wedding bouquet of my wife when we got married 25 years ago. So the bouquet of flowers was made out of daisies because at that time we couldn't afford roses. And you find the daisy not only on the croute but also in the side dish, which is the pâté with a cream of piccalilli and some red daisy flowers in the shape of a daisy. And then we serve it with white asparagus and a jus, which we have made from the roasted bones, and we perfumed it with mace. Enjoy!